It falls to me to inform you that this one is in the bag.
Alright, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Annie's Replay Casting. I'll be your caster Annie, aka Android, and I'm very excited to bring you match number 2210719266. Looks like it's going to be a fun one here. We can start over on the Dire side, introducing the teams. We've got Ender on my favorite hero, the Skywrath Mage. Over here we have got Siren on the Treant Protector, one of my other favorites. Kaoshima is going to be on the Legion Commander. Up here we do have Ravenhead on the Shadow Fiend. And finally, it's going to be Vampire Prince on the Slark. On the side of the Radiant, we have got Evel on the Crystal Maiden, Hoitwin der Kekse, which is Guardian of the Cookies, on the Sven. Down here it's going to be Felidai on the Ursa. Up top we have got RP and OXY on the Invoker. And finally Eldritch is going to be playing the Phantom Lancer. So we've got some interesting lanes here. Siren starting things out with a pretty defensive ward, making sure that Invoker is not going to walk up onto the high ground path. Down here in the lane, it looks like Ender going to be flapping away here. The rune split did go both in favor of the Radiant, which is going to really help them out, starting things off good. It's going to be some nice XP and gold going in their pockets. And Invoker starts things off with 2 Fairy Fires up against a Shadow Fiend, which is a necessary build here. He's going to be taking a lot of damage. Shadow Fiend does have those souls leveled up, but will eventually grab those raises, and that's going to do a decent chunk of damage to Invoker. At bottom lane, we've got Sven teaming up with the Crystal Maiden. Fantastic lane here. They've got so much hold. Crystal Maiden levels up that Frostbite Sven. He does have that Storm Hammer, so opting to go for the very aggressive catch build. And if they catch Legion Commander too many times before she is able to level up that duel, it's going to very much set her back in terms of farm. At top lane, we do have a solo PL, which is never a great thing. You really want someone to babysit your PL, so Eldritch could have a difficult time here. One good thing is that it's a double melee lane, so Slark and Treant, neither of them are going to be able to really go in, really be ultra aggressive or harassing. Now Frostbite comes out, Mango gobbled up from the Sven. I believe he was full mana before, so not quite sure if he exactly needed that fruity boost, but always good to get some vitamin C in your diet, I guess. Now another Frostbite comes out onto Ender, but no follow-up there. Sven keeping his eyes on the prize, going to continue to farm up here. And now Ender will get healed up by the Legion Commander, courtesy of the Press the Attack, and also the Living Armor from the Treant Protector. So double heals onto the Skywrath. That bird is going to keep fighting fit. Now no surprise, Eldritch is being forced back a little bit. Will take a Leech Seed right to the face, but is going to be able to Doppelganger off a lot of that damage. Now Siren on the Treant Protector has the highest starting damage of the game. I'm surprised he's not playing more of a frontliner all up in there, beeping on Eldritch at every available opportunity, but for now, Treant Protector going to be sitting back a little bit and letting Slark do what he can in terms of overall last hits. Slark is leading the board, followed up by the Invoker, who's doing pretty well in the mid lane. Comparable is going to be the Shadow Fiend, who now does have 2 points in those raises. Going to be giving Invoker a bit of a hard time snapping up some more last hits, so Shadow Fiend should start to accelerate. Now up top we do have Eldritch here, once again with the Leech Seed. Vampire Prince sitting here in the lane, trying to get what he can here, but now Vampire Prince is pushed in very, very far, and with only a Treant Protector to support the Slark, Slark is not going to get as much out of that lane farm. Down bottom, Evel will be taking that Arcane Bolt. Now Ender, he's very, very low, and Sven does not have a stun available. No Storm Hammer, no Mangoes to get him all the way up back to full mana, but Legion Commander doesn't have any heals as well, so everyone pretty much stalled out in terms of mana. The good thing is the Radiant do have that Crystal Maiden, who could grab some points into the Arcane Aura, and that's going to help out everyone on our team, really. Sven is going to be super mana dependent. Invoker as well. Even Phantom Lancer can have some mana problems later on in the game. A Vampire Prince actually getting very low here, and Slark does not have that ultimate. Is there a Spirit Lance here on PL? Looks like he needs just a little bit more mana to push him over the edge, and that could have been a kill, but the heal from the Treant Protector will keep Vampire Prince alive for now. So Evel on the Crystal Maiden, sitting on only a magic stick, does pick up the Ring of Regen, most likely going into the Arcane, or Tranquil Boots rather, but Evel getting very, very low. Nice Storm Hammer from the Sven, will defend her for now, but Crystal Maiden, she's got to get back. She does not have any real reliable regen. Yeah, she's got a couple stick charges, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, up top, Eldritch getting very, very low. Vampire Prince as well, falling below the 20% threshold, but they're both going to stick around in lane. Vampire Prince has a couple more tools to keep him healthy. He's got Treant Protector's Living Armor. He also can just sit around and wait for that ult, because the Shadow Dance will regen him back to full. But Eldritch, he's got 1 Tango left. He is going to be flying in a Wraith Band and some boots. That's going to help him out a decent amount as well, so he should be a-okay. Now we're mid-matchup here. There's going to be a tornado going out onto Ravenhead, getting him very, very low. One more hit from the Invoker would have finished him off, but Invoker didn't want to tank the creep aggro, so it looks like he will back off here. He's sitting about 25%, maybe 30% now. We'll be going into the phase boots right away, so not going to be going into the urn to get the most out of that cold snap proc. Instead, just opting to go for the mobility to run either to or from the Shadow Fiend. Overall last hit still pretty heavily in favor of the Slark, even though the lane is pushed in past, you know, the ideal threshold. It's still going to look pretty good for Slark, and Slark is very snowball oriented. Yeah, he does well with a lot of farm. Okay, first blood down bottom will go as Sven, unfortunately, will not guard the cookies for long. Legion Commander will pick up her first kill of the game. She's only level 4, no dual win, so that's going to be at least no more damage scaling in her favor. But she's going to be looking pretty good now. Has almost 800 gold at her disposal. Could be rushing straight into a Blink Dagger. Could go for a Blade Mail. Whatever she's feeling comfortable with now. Eldritch will feel a-okay here. He has that completed Wraith Band. Should be flying in his goodies pretty soon. He definitely needs those boots to stay in lane. Eldritch now going in very aggressive positioning now. There is her Leech Seed available from the Tramp Protector. Is going to be Leech Seeding a creep, so unfortunately not getting the most out of that, not getting the Phantom Lancer's life drained out of him, but still getting some HP regen to that Slark and keeping him nice and healthy. Vampire Prince has a lot of people looking after him here, otherwise he may have fallen down a couple of times. So now Skywrath Mage has picked up the Null Tally on top of the boots. It's more of an aggressive Skywrath build. If he's going for a position 5 Skywrath, the Null Tally is a bit frivolous. Usually you want to scale right into the Arcane boots. Maybe get a Basilius if your lane needs that mana sustain, but he is going to go for the Null Tally, so maybe looking to scale into more of a semi-carry as this goes on. We'll end up taking a couple of stuns here now. Cookies, he's going in, he's diving deep for this one, but he doesn't have the movement speed. It looks like they're turning onto the Legion Commander. Legion Commander will be able to chop him down now with one more Arcane Bolt. Cookies might be in some trouble here. Legion desperately wants this, but she doesn't have any points in the overwhelming odds. Not able to get that now. Evel left to 1v1 Legion Commander. Fight of the Women does end up favoring Crystal Maiden as she's able to get a lot of damage off onto Kiyoshima, but Kiyoshima will be able to back off. She has that one last heal. Meanwhile, there is going to be an attack over here. We did see Crystal Maiden get the kill onto Skywrath Mage as the ticks were sufficient. And I love Crystal Maiden's build here. It's 2 and 2. You really don't need that point into the nuke until you're sure that your other teammate won't be able to get it. But Sven offers enough nuke on his own. He's got 2 points in the Stormhammer. He's got crazy damage with that cleave, and just the overall power of Sven will scale up pretty nicely. So Crystal Maiden opting to go level up the Frostbite as a reliable hold. Definitely something you want when you're in lane with a hard carry that needs his kills spoon-fed to him at first.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Now Invoker will be going to grab up that urn as he is putting some points into that cold snap. He definitely wants that to be able to harass back the Shadow Fiend in lane. Shadow Fiend is, for the first couple of levels at least, a glass cannon. He can output a lot of damage, but he himself doesn't have that much HP, only sitting on 3 base armor. We did see Phantom Lancer have to retreat back. He took just a little bit too much damage, but now picks up a Ring of Aquila and the Boots of Speed. That's going to be some nice sustain for him, but against a Slark who is doing very well in terms of last hits, I'm not quite sure it's going to be enough here. Phantom Lancer has 19 last hits to his name. He's going to go up against Siren here, and now Siren, he hits hard, but he doesn't live that long. Once his living armor's down, which it is going to be procced, Siren might be going down. Phantom Lancer sending the Wad of Illusions in. Siren getting very, very low. Can they get one more Spirit Lance out? There will be a pounce out. Vampire Prince going in. He does have that ult if he needs it, but looks like Vampire Prince gets his ult off at the very last second. Now Eldritch running for his life here is Slark. He's looking for another pounce, has it in 2 seconds. Eldritch goes in with the Spirit Lance, is able to get a kill onto the Slark. Fantastic play. Now down bottom, we might not have a break from the action for long as Skywrath Mage still at full mana. Wants to go in for something. Will end up casting out some spells onto Felidai, but Ursa, well, he's just going to be walking away to safety. He might be able to get away here. He looks like he will take one more Arcane Bolt, and now the freeze on Kiyoshima will end. Now Ursa looks like he may end up falling down. Skywrath Mage picking up a kill on that one. There's not a whole lot the bear could have done. He kind of stood there and contemplated death, and now looks like the Stormhammer will cast out. They could get a much needed kill on the Legion Commander here. They're going to go in. Sven will be able to get a kill. Very fantastic play for him. They do have to trade the Crystal Maiden, but overall, CM for Legion definitely worthwhile in favor of the team that dropped the CM. Now up top, we are going to see Eldritch. There's a pounce missed on Vampire Prince. Eldritch is running for his life. He does have one Spirit Lance. It does offer a bit of slow, but of the deity's Shadow Fiend there. Oh, this is miserable. He casts a long range. It's not quite long enough to catch onto Eldritch, but one hit, two hit, Invoker, oh, with the tornado from downtown, it does catch up Ravenhead, and now Eldritch will end up falling, but they take the Slark with him. Deafening Blast comes through. It's going to be Invoker versus the world here, as Ravenhead will end up backing off. No, a quick turn, a quick heal. It looks like Invoker will meet his match as Ravenhead. He lost the DD, but he gained the heals, and he still has enough base damage to get the job done, so Invoker does end up going down. Now that's going to be Shadow Fiend's second kill of the game. He has no deaths yet, so Shadow Fiend, he's going to start to hit a power spike, and Invoker has to be very aware of that. Now there's going to be Sven popping into the God Strength. He wants to fight Enter, but I don't know if he's tanky enough here. One more hit should do the job, but now with on the backline, Legion Commander coming back through. Yeah, that was a pretty grim fight for Sven. He needed one little bit of lockdown. He desperately needs a Blink Dagger or Phase Boots or something to be able to catch up to Legion, who's so slippery here. She's got herself Power Treads. She's got herself at least one kill. Yeah, one kill and one death. So she's feeling pretty alright in this lane in terms of overall hits. She's only got 13. Sven's out farming her by a touch, but I think Legion's going to scale pretty nicely if she continues with the streak. Now CM is coming back in. She does have that freezing field, so she's got enough if she wants to pop straight into the Frostbite, then dump the nuke. And we'll see if that's going to be the plan here. She goes in, she gets the Frostbite. Now she is going to start dancing here. Will she get dueled though? Looks like that will be the case. She's lifted up into the air. Sven goes through. He doesn't have the Stormhammer. And now the duel will not connect. Evil is still alive for now. May end up going down to this Arcane Bolt coming through. Can CM live? Unfortunately not. The wand was still on cooldown, so she didn't have enough charges to get through. So CM does end up falling. That's going to be her second death of the game. But CM as a very squishy support, not very surprising. You really have to be worried about the dual victories going to Legion Commander, and so far she hasn't picked any up. So Radiant, they're down in terms of kills, in terms of overall net worth. Shadow Fiend is dominating, but Radiant are definitely still in this. It looks like Ursa here. He is picking up Blades of Attack, so it looks like he's going into the Phase Boots after picking up the Morbid Mask. That's going to be some pretty nice damage for him there. He is going to be needing to take the Roshan pretty soon. We're at 10 minutes in, and well, let's see if he wants to complete a full Vlad's, if he wants to get full Phase Boots before he heads into the pit, because that's going to be a nice key objective for him. Now Ender could be in some trouble. Ursa goes through, the Stormhammer connects from downtown, and now Felidai will pick himself up his first kill, rather his first assist of the game, as the kill goes the way of Crystal Maiden. The ticks from the Frostbite ended up getting the kill there. Oh no, it was the Crystal Nova cast out. She does pick up the value point in the queue. I would have liked to see another point in the Frostbite, but, you know, at this point in the game, it's completely up to her, and the kill secured definitely made it worthwhile. Now Ravenhead is going to be sitting here, healing himself back up with the help of the Treant Protector. And Vampire Prince, he's going in now. Invoker, he's ready to cast out his spells, but he has all the cooldowns going through. Phantom Lance will pick up a kill onto the Shadow Fiend now. Invoker, he's running away. Vampire Prince still feeling very scary, but does not have his ultimate. Vampire Prince will stand still, will go invisible, and now Siren will be taking a full Spirit Lance right to the face. They do end up losing the Treant Protector. Vampire Prince, he's going to be healing up courtesy of that Shadow Dance, and well, Eldris knows something's up. Vampire Prince has to move eventually. Could end up just pouncing away. Now Invoker, is he going to go through? Yep. We're going to see a jump from the Slark to the high ground. Meanwhile, Skywrath Mage was able to get a kill onto the Sven down bottom once again. So Sven really feeling the pain of being against a hard harass range hero. Skywrath Mage is so good in the early game at just getting those melee cores back. Alright, Crystal Maiden rotating here with the Ursa. Ursa has picked up what is the components for the Phase Boots. Just has to fly those out, and that's going to be something pretty nice for him. Meanwhile, up top, we do have Phantom Lancer's army taking on Vampire Prince, who once again has to hop into the Shadow Dance. Or at least he's getting the regen out of it. So Vampire Prince picking up that Shadow Amulet, most likely going to be going into Shadow Blade, maybe Silver Edge as well. Now Ender could be in some trouble here, going 1v1 against Invoker. Invoker's silenced up, which is detrimental, but it's only level 1 silenced now. Invoker will walk out of the Mystic Flare, and Felidai should be able to clean him up. Invoker with a Deafening Blast will secure his kill. Very good job from him. That's going to be his first kill of the game onto the Skywrath Mage, and that gets the pesky Skywrath out of the match for 30 seconds as he respawns. Now Ursa will finally go into the pit. He's going to be casting out those overpowers. He does have his ultimate if he needs to. Should pop into the range very shortly. He is going to need that extra bit of damage, tank, rather. So hopefully he doesn't end up going down here. Just hit that R button, he should be A-okay. But he's actually getting very, very low here. Hopefully he doesn't end up dying to Roshan. We'll end up backing out of the pit. Maybe needing to wait for a regen rune or some other good fortune coming towards him. But Ravenhead will find him. One raise should spell his doom, and that's going to be another successful kill for the Shadow Fiend. Now 3-1-0. Evel wants to find something here, but Crystal Maiden may have to run for her life. She's got the Tranquil Boots. There's going to be no phase around. She's looking to TP out, but there is vision of her up on the high ground. The raises, they won't do enough damage. She will be able to get out to safety. That's going to be pretty spooky for her. Now Sven left to his own devices here. I don't think this is looking good for him. As long as Skywrath Mage is able to go in with the silence, with the nuke, they can completely get him down. He's just going to have to stand there, contemplate his fate. He's trying to run, he's trying to hide, but there's nowhere to go. Shadow Fiend end up securing his 4th kill of the game. So, well, it's starting to really add up in favor of the Dire. Their net worth is looking pretty good onto the Shadow Fiend, but it is split out pretty unevenly. Shadow Fiend taking a huge lump sum, but Treant Protector, actually the poorest one in the game with a net worth of only 1,400. He's got himself Boots of Speed, he's got a Sage's Mask, so hopefully he gets up, well, whatever he needs. If he wants to go for a Blink, if he wants to go for Arcane Boots, he could go for an Aghanim Scepter, but if he continues with this trend of farming, definitely going to be a long way off. So now Invoker sitting here has that completed urn, 2 charges in that one as well, and a null tally at his disposal. And he's got a lot of gold here. Could be going in for a Yules, could be going in for a Blink, and now it looks like he could end up going down here as the Slark Pounce will be off the mark. Nice Tornado, EMP to connect as well, Deafening Blast! He's unloading all his mana here, but they might be able to get the kill on the Slark. Slark does have enough mana for his Shadow Dance now if he needs it, and should be regenerating up back to full health, so a lot of damage sprayed up from the Radiant, but no real follow-up. Here, Skywrath Mage could finally be in some trouble. Sven could pop out that Stormhammer. Looks like he will actually get silenced up. Skywrath Mage on the offensive against Sven, dumping out the Mystic Flare. Now Felidai looking to go in here. He has the recipe for the Vlads, but he's still missing a couple key components. Whacking away, they will finally get the kill onto Ender. That's going to be Ursa's 1st kill of the game. He should be rotating back into the pit. He tried the Roshan, didn't work out here. Well, now he's got his ultimate back up and ready. In a couple of seconds, he should be going back in. It's 15 minutes in, and really only 1 attempt for the Aegis so far. A lineup with a Sven, an Ursa, a PL. You really got to get those Roshans rolling. Now Evel here. Looks like he will be taking a pounce right to the face. I'm not quite sure there's much Crystal Maiden can do. Nice Tornado from the Invoker will keep her alive for now. She's running back, but will not be able to survive the right clicks of Ravenhead. Ravenhead is just such a big raid boss at this point. He's got his Blink, he's got his Wraith Band, he's dishing out so much damage. He's still a bit fragile, only 6 base armor, but, you know, he's got the Treant Protector always at his side, ready with those 3 points into the living armor, and it's going to be very, very difficult for anyone to really bust through that regen and get down the Shadow Fiends. They've got to either rotate as 5 or just leave Shadow Fiend be and ignore all his gank attempts, ignore his push, and farm up elsewhere. And that looks like what the PL is doing. He's going into the Dire jungle, getting his farm here. He's got his drums, he's got his treads, he's got that Aquila we talked about. So he's feeling pretty good in terms of overall net worth. 2nd on the chart. Overall last hits, same story. Going up against Ravenhead here. Could be a battle of the ages. Tornado will connect from high ground here. Now Invoker does end up popping back through. He does have the Cold Snap. If he can get it off, that could be fantastic. There's the Cold Snap. The Urn Charge to get it off as well. Will not be able to channel a Requiem. Only the Death Requiem coming through. And Eldritch will be picking up his 5th kill of the game. Phantom Lander putting in some work here, carrying his team to victory. Meanwhile, there is going to be a double kill as Crystal Maiden tried to go up against the Skywrath Mage, and Skywrath was ultimately successful. Heal here onto the Legion Commander. The duel is down, and another duel win goes the way of the Legion Commander. Sunstrike comes through, will not connect onto Legion. She's going to heal herself back up, walk back to base, and leave Ender to defend the game and get some much needed lane XP. Ender does pick up that Vitality booster, so it could be an Atos for the Skywrath Mage. It's an old school pickup from a couple of patches ago, but it gets the job done. Invoker is able to get a kill on the Treant Protector mid lane. Looks like this tower could be falling down. Eldritch taking some shots, will de-aggro, and it looks like he's got enough here. He pops into the Doppelganger, getting some blue buddies there. Just gonna be able to whack it down. No Fortify is committed from the Dire. They had that Fortify up, and it does refresh after the tier 1 tower goes down, so maybe a little bit of misplay there. Could have just bought themselves more time to rotate in. Either way, Skywrath Mage, he's back from his little regen trip, and he's flying through. Very aggressive play from him here. And maybe be able to punish that as the Cold Snap. Maybe gonna proc. No, Ender just taking a lot of damage from those right clicks. Treant Protector following up with a living armor. He should be a-okay. So we've reached a little bit of a stall in momentum here as the Radiant, they're feeling really good with themselves in terms of overall net worth. PL finally does surpass the mid Shadow Fiend, and PL should continue that trend. He's going to get larger than life as this goes on. He's picking up a Diffusal Blade. That's going to be a fantastic thing, even just for the passive mana burn. Up against a Skywrath, up against a Slark, just ruin their day, burn their mana pools up, and completely kill them. That bottom lane, Sven all on his lonesome. Vampire Prince will go in, should be able to find a kill here. Sven does have that ultimate, or rather that ultimate and the Stormhammer, so he could be going, using that God Strength just a little bit, but no Warcry for him. He desperately needs to pop the Warcry, Sven. Come on, man, hit E. It would give him that little bit of extra movement speed, that he could have used to walk away, but fortunately he will not die today. Now they are going to see that this camp is being pulled, so Evel popping in has that invis rune, hunting for something here. Speaking of hunting, Slark walking back again, no mana for him, he's so mana dependent. Now Felidai, he's looking for something, pops into his ultimate form, but will immediately get silenced. He has to back off. In fact, this could be a wild goose chase as his ultimate will wear off. So Ursa, well, he's definitely running for his life. Invoker, he does have that wall ready to put up. Fantastic job keeping his team safe. We see how much that slows down the Treant Protector. Now maybe looking to turn this, we'll end up taking a silence. Now Mystic Flare cast out as well. Invoker will end up walking through it successfully, but 1 hit, 2 hit, and a raise from the Shadow Fiend will secure the death of the Invoker. Now Crystal Maiden left all in a run, Overgrowth off the mark. Evel looking for something here, skirting around, getting the juice, will eventually get silenced up. We'll be taking a concussive shot, slowing her down, and now the raises come through. Ravenhead will be able to pick up another kill. That's going to be a double kill going his way. Eldritch wants to find something here. We'll get the Skywrath Mage, looking to turn the Requiem cast out, but on the backline, Stormhammer comes through. Siren could be in some trouble here. Will have to try and heal himself up. The heal immediately munched through, and now one more hit means Ursa will secure his second kill of the game. Very successful turnaround from the Radiant, but looks like Slark, he's hunting for more. He knows the Sven is easy pickings as he's going to be low. His God Strength will wear out. He turns to jungle and will not live to see the day that he finishes off that camp. So Slark is going to be going ahead, picking himself up his first solo kill of the game. And now he's going to start snowballing, as Slark is such a snowball hero. Feed him kills, and he starts going out of control. But if you're able to slow down his item progression, it should be pretty easy to get him down. Now Invoker looks like he will be able to go through, cast the Cold Snap onto him, but they have no detection for the Shadow Blade just yet. So he will get away safely this time, and maybe Radiant learns their lesson. Maybe they start picking up dusts on the Invoker, on the Crystal Maiden, whoever's going to be the one catching out the kills here. Eldritch still has 8 charges on that Diffusal. Could start to use it offensively if they want to go in and get that cripple. Now Felidai here, again, sitting on the recipe for the Vlads, taking up a very important item slot. Ursa could actually finish off the rest of the Vlads if he wanted to. Just has to go back through and buy it. So maybe not doing the best itemization, not making the most of his time. Now we'll pick up the components of the Vladimir's offering. Should be flying him out to himself, and after that, we'll see what he's able to get done. He really needs to start taking the Roshan. Vampire Princess Invis here, hoping to find a Ursa asleep at the wheel. Looks like he will be successful. There's not a whole lot Ursa can do. He's going to hop into the ultimate form. In fact, turning this, Vampire Prince hops into his ult. Felidai is still feeling relatively alive for now, has to sit back and contemplate life. They will be able to get a return kill onto Vampire Prince. Overall trade will favor the Radiant on that account, unless there's going to be more kills going that way. As Legion is still feeling healthy. She's got the blink and the duel. She's hunting for something, but she knows the Radiant are all grouped up.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Ravenhead will be picking up the BKB. Already has 2 components. Could actually finish off the recipe very shortly if he wants to go ahead and grab that for himself. Tornado just off the mark on the backlines though. Treant Protector sitting here hugging the trees with that Nature's Guise. Man, Radiant have no idea here, but now Dire have all sorts of eyes all over the map. They know that this Sven is all alone, and that's going to be the key component of him getting turned on, getting blown up here. They have the Mystic Flare if they need it, opting to hold on to it. They don't even need it for now. The duel comes through. That's going to be more damage going the way of Legion Commander. Sven, he's got to stick with his supports. He's got to play safe. If he doesn't know where all the Dire heroes are, he's got to stay back and hug his tower, because pickoffs like that can keep happening. You've got a reliable silence with the Skywrath Mage. You've got reliable damage coming through with Kyoshima. Kyoshima could be in some trouble here, as Eldritch looking to avenge his lost buddy. Gonna go through. Does he have a doppelganger? Looks like that will be the case. Another Spirit Lance popping out, and boom! That's gonna be an unstoppable streak for Eldritch. 8, 1, and 2. Fantastic playing from the PL. Now on the backlines, we are gonna have Ender TPing out. He doesn't want to mess with this. He's actually gonna TP directly behind him to this tower, not wanting to walk through the impenetrable wall that is PL Illusions. Nice doppelganger there. Will be dodging out the concussive shot coming out from Ender. Now turning into Ravenhead. The Overgrowth Gust does connect. Eldritch a bit of a overcommit here. Now Evel coming in is silenced up. Can't really do a whole lot. Will get bursted down by the Mystic Flare. Now Felidai wanting to be the hero here, getting some nice damage off onto Siren. Will be able to take out the Treant Protector, but continuing to turn, taking tower shots. That's not going to work out. The Ursa will go down, and with no Aegis, only 1 life. So he's going to be sitting in the grave for another 30 seconds. Now Invoker coming in, but so much fighting underneath the Dire tier 1. I don't think anyone on the Radiant really has the sustain to be doing so. Now Vampire Prince, he's Shadowbladed up, he's looking for the pounce. Can he find anyone here? Is going to go 1 click onto Sven, but not wanting to tangle with an Invoker with pretty much a full mana pool. So Sven continuing to farm up here. His farm is not the best in terms of overall net worth. He's sitting at 8th which is not where you want your position 1 Sven to be, but the offlane PL has definitely made up the lost ground here. He's sitting just about matching Shadow Fiend's net worth. If he continues that trend later on, it's going to be fantastic for him. PL is such a scary force to go up against, whereas Shadow Fiend, he's got a lot of damage that he can spray out around himself, but he's relatively easy to lock down. Unless he builds something like a butterfly, he's not going to be that evasive, he's not going to be that slippery. He does have the BKB built up, but again, there are still some fantastic abilities on the side of the Radiant just to go in and get him down with raw damage. The Sven will end up hitting very hard as he scales. Invoker, even his right clicks can end up hurting pretty badly, and well, Invoker, or rather Phantom Lancer, is just such a big mess of damage. Looks like he will be going onto Kiyoshima. Nice Stormhammer from the Sven, will be able to rip apart the Legion Commander. Now the tower will be following suit. They are going to get the tower down, and we'll see what they're able to do for that as, well, now the tier 2 tower is going to be under siege without a creep wave. It's going to be a pretty hard. Sven, well, he's got his eyes on the prize here. In that God Strength form, wants to get the most out of it. God Strength will be expiring relatively soon. He wants to get up to the tower, but the Radiant, they know they're going to have to fight this one pretty dirty. Ravenhead will be taking a big wall of PL illusions. Now Eldritch getting kind of low here. He does get blasted out. There's going to be a nice EMP connecting, taking a lot of Ravenhead's mana away, but now Vampire Prince, he's looking for something here. Could go in onto Evel, could go in on Eldritch, but now Vampire Prince reveals himself. He doesn't have a Shadow Blade, he doesn't have mana for his ult. Overgrowth comes through. Eldritch is going to be in some trouble. Pops out the Doppelganger, will be able to get a kill for his trouble, but CM goes down. They're going to get down the PL as well. It's going to be a 4-for-1. Slark, he's valuable, but not that valuable. Very successful hold from the Dire. They lose their tier 1 down here, but the fight continues. Radiant keep pressing, and Dire have the resources to turn that around. So overall, it's going to be a 4,200 XP swing and a 1,500 gold swing in favor of the Dire. Looking at our overall charts here, that's going to be turning it back in the Dire's favor. In terms of overall net worth, just about back to 0. Radiant had a sizable lead. They lost a bit of it, but now the ground is being made up. Hopefully PL continues to farm the way he's been doing, but as long as Dire keep farming up heroes, they're going to keep their gold rolling for themselves as well. Now Felidai here on the Ursa, he is picking up the Ogre Club, he has the completed Vlads, but the first Roshan is still standing. He needs to get back in that pit yesterday if he really wants to have an impact this game. Sven, a little bit asleep at the wheel, will be taking a full duration Mystic Flare right to the face as Ender is going to be on a dominating streak. Skywrath Mage, 11, 5, and 6. As much as I love Skywrath Mages to excel, there's really no reason he has this much farm. It seems like Sven could be doing a little bit of a better job just getting in there, being on the aggressive, and ripping down that Sky Warrior. Now Kiyoshima will get healed up by the Treant Protector. Treant has been very on point with those heals the entire game. He will end up going down, having to sacrifice himself to keep his buddy alive, but keeping the Legion alive for a Treant is arguably the better play. We'll see what's going to happen here as the Tornado will go through. It doesn't connect onto Ender, just barely short of range, but now the Spirit Lance will end up connecting. Eldritch, or rather Ender, gonna get very low here, takes a Diffusal to the face, but Ravenhead, he's still feeling healthy, pops into that BKB. That was his 8-second BKB. That's pretty costly, but he doesn't really end up getting any real value out of it on the backlands. You do have an Invis Slark looking for something. His Shadow Blade will run out, so he does have to back off, and the rest of the Radiant, they're grouped up. They're easy pickings, but no one wants to make the first move on the backlines. I heard a duel. I'm not blind, right? That was a duel on a PL illusion. There we go. There's the question mark. So some pings coming out. Some good old flavor being tossed out here in this pub. And now, let's see what Ravenhead's really able to get done here. He has 2,100 gold. His BKB is running low already at 27 minutes in the game. He's been a bit trigger happy with that thing. Every single initiation popping into that magic immune form, but I don't know if that's really going to make it worth it, as Invoker hasn't even really hit his power spike yet. You're not going to need the magic immunity until Invoker's got that Aghanim Scepter, until he's ripping you apart from every conceivable angle. So Sven, going to be continuing to farm up. Looks like he will pick up the Band of Elveskin, going into what looks like a Sange and Yasha, but you really want to pick up that Blade of Alacrity first. It gives you better stats for your money. It's a bit more expensive, but you will end up getting more out of it. Slark's hunting here. He's got a Shadow Blade, so he's going to be looking for any sort of conceivable pickoff. And, well, Eldritch in the mid lane, he's a very hard target to go up against. Second on the net worth chart, he's got himself a Yasha. He has that Diffusal Blade, no more charges on it. So he does have to need either buy a new recipe or build it up to level 2. just to replenish those charges. Now, okay, Siren will scout out that there's going to be an Eldritch joining the party now. Ursa, he goes in, he's getting himself some nice damage going through, but will he be able to find anyone here? He desperately needs some sort of mobility. Cast those phase boots, man, charge into the party now. Looks like, okay, first casualty will be the Crystal Maiden, no surprise there. Now Sven running around, not sure if he fights or if he runs, and he will end up going down here. Is going to be getting popped by the Slark on the back lines. The Requiem will be able to get down the Sven, helped out by the Legion Commander. Now, okay, Felidai going to be getting down to the Skywrath Mage. Skywrath Mage is on a mega kill streak. Kiyoshima completely out of mana, almost out of health, but will end up getting out alive. Now Ender will pay the ultimate price for his greed. That's going to be a pretty big bounty going the way of PL. 845 gold for the Skywrath Mage. Now Siren will be casting those Nature's Guises, but looks like the Tornado will be enough to get him down. Invoker securing his third kill of the game will be bringing him closer to the Aghanim Scepter. He's only about 1,000 gold off from getting that ultimate magic-y fighty item.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So looks like Slark here will be going for the Eye of Skadi, and, well, he's got 2 kills to his name, so he's not snowballing out of control, but he's still feeling pretty good in terms of overall net worth. He's getting a decent chunk of farm, he's being a scary presence starting off these fights, so even though he's not usually living through the engages, he's definitely being a great initiator, getting some nice pounces, forcing out abilities from the Radiant, using that Shadow Blade, so we'll see if he wants to level up that Shadow Blade into a Silver Edge, or if he wants to stick with the Orb of Venom build and get a Skadi right away. Speaking of Scotty's, PL could be going that direction in some sort of near future as soon as he picks up whatever he wants to get. I was going to say Manta, does end up picking up the Manta from that Yasha, and now he's still got 500 gold to work with. On the backlines here we have Vampire Prince, Shadowblade, half duration, looking for the pounce onto Evel. Should be able to get it, going in with the pounce, with the hit. That's going to be some fantastic play. Now Evel does end up having that mechanism, is able to cast it, living for now, but there's no one there to back her up. She's got to YOLO this, going up against the Slark solo is a scary prospect, but Evel somehow lives through this. Great play by the Crystal Maiden, nice reaction with the mechanism, and going and getting that slow with the Crystal Nova definitely bought her some time to get through that alive, so great playing all around. The Radiant Creep Wave is going to be taking some serious hits as Dire, they've got a nice push going for themselves. They're sitting pretty much clumped up on their side of the map, feeling good about themselves. Legion Commander picks up a Vanguard, which a little bit unusual here, most likely going for, well, this is last patch here, so that's not how Abyssal Blade builds up, but I guess just going for the Crimson Guard or the casual dodge chance from the Vanguard. It's a costly item. It doesn't really buy Legion a whole lot. I would have liked to see her go for the BKB, offers a similar amount of tank ability, and also just has a lot more practical uses up against a lineup with a Crystal Maiden and Invoker. So Eldritch does have to pick up the second recipe, turning that Diffusal Blade, replenishing its charges, turning it to level 2, doing a little bit more damage there. Now, okay, we've got Vampire Prince walking through. Looks like he himself is going to be going for the Eye of Skadi, picking up that point booster towards the Soul Booster. Ursa needed to be in the pit yesterday. Like, at this point, if you have an Ursa, Roshan is such a key objective that you really have to be thinking about it constantly. Looks like Ender is going to toss out that Mystic Flare. Not going to be getting down Eldritch here as Eldritch turns it on him. Goes in on the aggressive and gets the job done. Taking out Skywrath Mage. Skywrath Mage has a 60-second death timer 30 minutes into the game because he has just been so important. 13 kills on this crazy kid. Now it looks like Kiyoshima might be in some trouble taking another Diffusal charge. No more mana for the Legion Commander, but now they're bringing in the damage. They got the damage in with the Slark and the Shadow Fiend. Now Kiyoshima could be looking for a duel here, does have just enough mana, but the Deafening Blast coming through, they get what they need to out of that. Kiyoshima running for her life, has the regen on, but okay, they do get the Requiem off from Siren. Felidai fighting for his life here, he's going to be doing what he can, and now Vampire Prince going to be regenning up. Sven will end up going down, and Eldritch looking to fight here, will get silenced up, pops into the Doppelganger form, is able to get out a bunch of illusions. Now okay, Skywrath Mage pops down the ulti, not enough to trap Invoker. Now Ender going to be taking that negative earn charge as well as Diffusal. Double kill here for the PL, they get 4, they lose their Sven, and well, I think they lost a couple more earlier on, but in terms of overall fight recap, fantastic play from the Radiant. Huge shout out to Eldritch for just going in, knowing exactly what he's got his eyes on, and getting the job done.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So Invoker, he's getting very, very close to that Aghanim Scepter. We'll be picking it up right now. Going to be flying it out to himself, and that's going to be more and more team fight going in favor of the Radiant. The Radiant are down in terms of kills, but with the PL scaling the way he is, and with Slark having a little bit of a tough time finding those kills, only 2 to his name for now, I think this is going to go very easily in favor of the Radiant. It might be a long one, but I think they'll get the job done. in terms of overall graphs here. XP slightly in favor of the Radiant, but we've seen how much one team fight can really turn the graph. It's definitely not a sure thing. Overall gold is a little bit more stable in terms of the Radiant, but look at that spike from just a couple of moments ago, from 3,000 in favor of the Dire to almost 3,000 in favor of the Radiant. This is going to be a very key turning point in the game. We're at the firm mid-game stages, Invoker now has an Aghanim Scepter. Other big item pickups, Legion Commander, still waiting on whatever her next item is, but the Blink duel should be pretty good. She's only got 24 duel victories, which I believe is three duel victories, so it's not ideal for her. Vampire Prince using that Shadow Blade defensively up against this PL, so even at only 30 minutes in the game, PL is just such a zoning force, leaving his army to do his work for him, and, well, a happy face from Ender. Let's see what he's so happy about. Well, it looks like he has picked up a Soul Booster. That's certainly something to be happy about. It could be a Bloodstone, most likely going to be an Octarine Core. Skywrath Mage going to be healing himself up, and, well, we'll see what he's able to do for him. It will be nice in terms of mana sustain, but his first item, or his first real item being a Soul Booster, is a bit quirky. Also something quirky is he does pick up the Arcane Boots on top of the Soul Booster. You could have disassembled the boots and gotten yourself a free mana component. Okay, Courier does end up going down. That was, I believe Ursa's doing, and now Ursa, Madman here charging into all 5 heroes. He will end up losing his life, and again, with no Aegis, it's gonna be for real this time. And now Deafening Blast, EMP connecting onto everyone. The Crystal Maiden, she's dancing. Gonna get Siren down here. Double kill. Gonna be coming out pretty soon. As well, Invoker, he's got his eyes on the prize. Going after Ravenhead. Eldritch going in, whacking on him. Sven from downtown with the Stormhammer. Now Vampire Prince gonna get frozen up. He's in his ultimate form, so we will get the regen going for him. Now Kyoshima looking for something. Doesn't have the dual pounce, lands onto the Sven. Now Eldritch just going in, shredding him to pieces. Evel actually getting the kill for that. I believe that was the Frostbite Ticks getting him low. And now Crystal Maiden, she's fresh out of mana, but she's just pumped full of spirit. She's sitting there 6, 9, and 6, doing exactly what she needs for her team. She's got the wards, she's going towards the Glimmer Cape, and Eldritch gonna be shredding apart this tower with the help of the God Strength Sven. Sven has picked himself up the Yasha, most likely scaling to Sange and Yasha like we talked about, but no real item progress for a while. Should be picking up the next component of whatever he's grabbing, and now looks like the tier 3 tower is down. Melee racks are next on the menu. Eldritch, although he's low health, wants to get something done about this. Pops out his illusions. Looks like they will be able to get down the racks. Full set gonna be coming out as the range falls as well. Sven should be backing off here. He's not quite big enough to tackle this on his own, but Radiant grabbed themselves a sizable advantage. Meanwhile, PL gonna be focusing on the split push going through, grabbing out the rest of his wave. We'll see if Radiant overcommit for this. Evel, now all alone, should be backing down from the high ground. Slark and Shadow Fiend are dead, but Legion's still a very viable damage source. Skywrath Mage, he's got himself a big chunk of pennies, but we'll see what he wants to buy up. Again, Skywrath, I'd like him to take a couple more stepping stones. The Null Tally was nice, Arcane Boots, fantastic, but what does he really offer his team now? I mean, he's great at silencing. Mystic Flares have been so-so, and, you know, if Sven ends up picking up BKB, that's going to be pretty much a useless Skywrath Mage. Phantom Lancer, I mean, he's going to be taking a lot of damage from the Mystic Flare if Skywrath Mage opts to go for that route. But in terms of point-click damage, it's going to be very hard to find the right PL. On the backlines, Ursa, he's looking for something here. He does have a BKB of his own, shiny and new at 10 charges. He needs to be in the Rosh Pit. We are 36 minutes in the game. This is the first Roshan. Please someone step foot in the Rosh Pit. It's a little bit ridiculous at this point. The Radiant, they have such a Rosh-dependent lineup. They gotta start getting themselves cheeses. They gotta get those Aegises every time they're up, but at this point even Dire could really benefit a lot from the Aegis. Shadow Fiend, not the quickest Rosh taker, but having that Aegis at his disposal would be fantastic. So Ursa has picked himself up a Blink Dagger. We'll see how much that's really going to improve his farm, but the only place he needs to blink is right on over here. This guy right there needs a little bit of attention, but I digress. Maybe he's going for an Aegis-free build. I've seen stranger things in the game of Dota 2. Now Siren will be scouting out the pit, making sure Ursa's not in there, and he himself could opt to get his team in there and try to take it. Meanwhile, Iascati has been completed on the Shadow Fiend. That's going to be some serious right-click damage coming out now. He is hitting for almost, or more than 200 a pop. Vampire Prince going to be going towards the Scotty as well, picking up that ultimate orb on top of the rest of the balls he's got in his stash, so he should be picking it up pretty soon. Going to be some nice attack speed slow, going to be some more damage coming out for the Dire, but I think the damage war will be won by Eldritch, who now has a Manta as well, so his Wad of Illusions going to be bigger and tankier than ever. Now he's going to go in, does find out Kiyoshima. He's kind of going on a YOLO mission here. He does have follow-up from the Ursa, and Kiyoshima going to try to turn this, going to try to run away, but not going to be successful. The heal, not in time. Now Vampire Prince looking for something. The Fusel charge is blown onto Ravenhead. Now Ursa, he's roaring. There's going to be an overgrowth connecting onto 3. Requiem coming through, shredding everyone to bits, and now it looks like Felidai might end up going down here on the backlines. The Requiem comes through as Phantom Lancer gets the kill onto the Shadow Fiend. And Phantom Lancer, he's going to be popping out the Doppelganger. He wants to get something here. He's hunting. He's going on to Siren now. Siren has no real tools to get out of this. All his mana is burned. Vampire Prince, similar story. Godlike streak. Ultra kill for Eldritch. That mana burn from the Diffusal is too goddamn strong. Just wiping everyone clean off the map. The only survivor is the Skywrath Mage cowering in his fountain here, filling up his mana pool, but also just sitting back and watching his base burn. This is most likely going to be a second lane of Rax. Could end up being the throne as well. It's going to be full-on respawn timers. Legion Commander has buyback. She'll be back very shortly though. Slark, no buyback. Shadow Fiend, no buyback. And, well, the tier 3 tower will end up falling. Eldritch going in very deep, wanting to find out the Skywrath Mage. Looks like the Spirit Lance is not quite long enough to go in for that zoning lance, but he's such a zoning presence at this point now. Sven, he does have that Helm of the Dominator. He did pick up the S and Y, but I'm surprised he hasn't gone for a Blink or a BKB. He just, his net worth is, it's alright, but he just really spent a lot of time walking around in these fights, wasn't exactly sure what his goals were. Now Kiyoshima TP's into the fight, will eventually just get blasted apart by the PL. All her mana is burned, all her life is taken, and now Evel does end up popping into that Glimmer Cape form, getting back safely, and well, tier 3s are down, tier 4s, similar story. And well, Ravenhead, there's only so much he can do to zone. Now Vampire Prince is here in that Shadowblade form, looking for something. Siren going in, or getting gone in on rather. There's going to be an overgrowth. God Strength from the Sven, keeping him relatively healthy for now. He's hitting hard. Crystal Maiden on a killing spree. She's going to get chunked down by Vampire Prince. She may end up paying the ultimate price for this, but it's going to be a fantastic ult from her. Getting 2 down. Now Vampire Prince running away. There's going to be a Sunstrike. It will be on the mark. Invoker with the mad prediction skills, and now alright, we've got Shadow Fiend doing what he can to clean up the creep wave, but with an exposed Ancient very shortly. I'm not quite sure it's going to be enough. We are going to see a Silence come out. Sven taking some serious damage, doesn't have God Strength. The Blink Dagger's been in his stash for a while, but not opting to fly it in just yet. Meanwhile, the Ancient, it looks like this could be the end. Everyone on the Radiant is backing off, but the creeps still doing a big job here. They're melting the Ancient down. It's at half health, a third health, 20% health. There's going to be a Fortify. A Skywrath Mage looks to clean it up, but I think this could be it. This could be the end of the game coming through as well, Skywrath is going to get that aggro drawn onto him, but how tanky is Ender really? He's got that soul booster, so he's tankier than a Skywrath Mage should be, but I don't know if it's enough to really draw all the aggro off the Ancient. Ender may end up giving his life for this. The Siege Creep definitely got its eyes on the prize. Ender going after it. There will be a Sunstrike. Can they get Ender down? He's just a little bit too beefy with that soul booster and the Null Tally, but he definitely learns his lesson and will crawl back to base and defeat. So everyone on the Dire fighting to keep it alive. The Radiant really enjoying their time in the sun. Ursa, he's ages free, got no cares in the world, gonna be whacking on this tier 2 tower, knowing there's absolutely no way that Dire leave their base even for a second. So now the Ancient, it's at 10% health, and now Siren just gonna get blasted apart, pops out the Overgrowth. Eldritch is able to dodge it out, and okay, the blast comes through, the EMP just ripping everyone apart. The Requiem out from Ravenhead, he's in his 5-second BKB, but it's not gonna be enough. It looks like he will go down. The Ancient gonna be going down as well very shortly. Sven will end up losing his life, so keeping in tradition, 12 deaths for him. Just has to go out one more time to keep his team proud. And now in the fountain, Eldritch just going absolutely mad. Looks like he's just going to be whacking out Ender. 3 kills in the fountain. Finally gets himself a rampage. He's running away. And it looks like the Ancient will be cleaned up by Evel. Fantastic playing by the Radiant. It looked like it was a tough game for them early on, but they just found their streak and kept going. They climbed that mountain and ended up on top as the Dire Ancient does crumble. So it's going to be fantastic playing by Eldritch on the PL. Invoker did a great job as well. Sven and Ursa, well, they made some decisions that were a little bit curious, but they were on the winning team after all, so they couldn't have done too bad. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the cast. If you have any feedback or want your own games casted, please feel free to reach out to me at anniecasts@gmail.com. And, well, I hope you guys have a fantastic day.